What's up guys, my name is Ryan and I spent the last few years exploring Europe and I want to show you some of my favorite villages. So here's my European villages top 10. Europe is home to some of the world's most enchanting villages. From the fairy tale town of Hallstatt to the seaside views of Positano, Europe's villages remain unmatched to the rest of the world. Let's start this video off in northern Norway in the village of Reine. Now located in the Lofoten Islands, Reine was founded back in 1743 as a fishing village and trading post. Today it has a population of around 300 residents, but it's visited by thousands of people thanks to its unique beauty. I was here a few years ago and I was just blown away by its massive sea mountains that dwarf over the village. Reine is full of those classic red and yellow Norwegian houses. They're just so cool. The one thing you can do while you're in Reine is hike up to the nearby mountain called Rheinbringen. You'll be able to get some incredible views over Reine and the surrounding villages. Just so incredible up there. Afterwards, we're going to head down to northern Italy to visit Varenna. Located on Lake Como, this is one of the most idyllic places I've ever been to. Varenna was founded all the way back in the 8th century by local fishermen. I stayed several nights here and it was such an enjoyable and relaxing time. I love walking around the village through all its cobblestone alleyways. There's a great plaza and an impressive church. And there's also this little beach on the southern side. It was a fun place to swim and enjoy some of Lake Como's water. Now, one of my favorite places I went to in Varenna was its northern shore. There's restaurants and a little stone beach where you can watch the small waves roll in, accompanied by some of Lake Como's majestic swans. I think one of my favorite things I did was just enjoying the sunset on the docks there. This place is truly incredible. Afterwards, we're going to head over to Switzerland to visit the mountain village of Wengen. Now founded back in the 13th century, I believe Wengen is home to the most beautiful view in the world as it overlooks the valley below. Now the village is home to around 1,300 residents year-round, but it gets many visitors during the summer and winter months. Now to get to Wengen, you can't drive there. It's one of Switzerland's car-free villages, but you can either hike or take one of the most scenic train rides from the town of Lauterbrunnen. It costs around $13 round trip and winds up the mountain. The views on the train ride will take your breath away. Now once you get to Wengen, you can walk around its paths and just marvel at all the Swiss chalets and incredible views of the valley below. Now after, we're going to visit the nearby alpine village of Grindelwald. When you think of Switzerland, this is it. Swiss chalets, green pastures, and mountains everywhere you look. I've been here several times over the years and it never ceases to blow my mind. The village is overlooked by the massive Eiger Mountain. It's just hard to fathom how big it is. In Grindelwald, there's a lot to do. I was just there recently and me and my brother rented some e-bikes and rode them up the mountain. We made it to the famous first cliff walk and checked that out. Then we rode to the lake Bakalfsee. I can't recommend Grindelwald enough. There's just something magical about this Swiss village. Another notable nearby village is Itterwald. It's a small municipality built on Lake Brienz. Now one of the most notable features of the city is its castle, which sits perfectly on the picturesque peninsula. Switzerland just has too many scenic villages. Now after, we're going to the Czech Republic to visit the village of Cesky Krumlov. Located in the South Bohemian region of the Czech Republic, Cesky Krumlov is a medieval fantasy. As I was doing research, I was just blown away by the beauty of this place. It looks like something straight out of a fairy tale. The town arose around the year 1240 when the Cesky Krumlov castle was built and a settlement emerged beneath it. Cesky Krumlov thankfully escaped the bombings of World War II, which is the main reason the city is so well preserved. Today it stands as one of Czech Republic's most beautiful towns. One of the main attractions of the town is the castle. It's the second most visited in the country. It's surrounded by a moat that's not filled with water but bears instead. That's pretty crazy. You can also visit the castle tower to get an incredible view of the town. It's just such a magical place and I can't believe it exists. After, we're going to visit the German village of Rothenburg. Now when you go to Rothenburg, you'll feel like you're walking in a fantasy movie. It's one of the most preserved medieval old towns in all of Europe. During the Middle Ages, Rothenburg thrived as it was located at the crossroads of European trade routes. At the beginning of the 15th century, it rose to becoming the second largest city in all of Germany, but during the 17th century, Rothenburg faced adversities such as the 30-Year War and the bubonic plague. Without much resources, Rothenburg's growth was halted, which aided in keeping the town preserved in its medieval state. Today, Rothenburg maintains its medieval charm, and it's been the inspiration for sets of Disney movies such as Pinocchio. If you go, you can check out the famous Plonian Corner or witness the beautiful Christmas markets. I mean, just hard to beat the allure of this German village. After, we're going to head over to Slovenia to visit Piran. Located on a narrow peninsula in the Adriatic Sea, Piran was part of the Roman Empire back in 178 BC. During medieval times, it became part of the Republic of Venice, with much of its Italian influence still prevalent today. I just love its medieval charm and orange roof buildings. While you're there, you can visit the Tartini Central Square or take a walk around the edge of the town, marveling at the Adriatic Sea. And Piran is a hidden gem that deserves a visit. After, we're going to head over to southern Italy to visit Alberobello. Now believed to be founded around the 14th century, Alberobello has grown in popularity thanks to its uniquely shaped houses called trulli. The trulli are these whitewash houses with cone-shaped roofs. It's the largest collection of them in the world with over 1,400. Now they are made of limestone from nearby rock beds without any mortar or cement. There are some theories of why they built the trulli in such a unique way. Some speculate it was an elaborate form of tax evasion, since you had to pay taxes to the king if you had a permanent dwelling, and they found a loophole since the trulli didn't have cement and could be dismantled quickly if you needed to. I mean, you gotta love some medieval tax evasion. Now after, we're gonna head over to Belgium to visit the riverside village of Dinant. Now located about an hour's drive from Brussels, Dinant is a charming town. I just love how the river runs right through it and the rock cliff overlooks the town. Now Dinant is also where the inventor of the saxophone is from. His name is Adolphe Sax. I love any song with a saxophone. Now after, we're going to head over to France to visit the medieval fortress of Carcassonne. Now when I imagine medieval Europe, I don't think there's a better place that exemplifies it better than this fortified city. Located in southern France, Carcassonne began as a Roman fortified hilltop and was given to the Visigoths in the 5th century, who continued to fortify and build the city. Throughout the centuries, Carcassonne proved to be an impregnable fortress as army after army failed to overtake the protected city. Today, the city consists of 53 towers that are protected by its 2 outer walls. It remains as one of Europe's greatest medieval gems. After, we're going to head over to Austria to visit the picturesque village of Hallstatt. Now located in the Austrian Alps, Hallstatt looks like it could be in a fairy tale. It's rumored to be the inspiration of the town Arendelle from the Disney film Frozen, and I can totally see the resemblance. Hallstatt began as a salt mine nearly 7,000 years ago, and today the village is one of Austria's most popular tourist attractions. While you're there, you can walk the cobblestone alleys and marvel at the 16th century Alpine houses. I mean, just such an enchanting place. After Austria, we're going to head back to Switzerland to visit one of my favorite places, Zermatt. It's a charming village shadowed over by the daunting Matterhorn mountain, and there's just something magical about this place. Now the city is full of shops and restaurants, including my favorite, McDonald's. Now one thing I love is how the glacial river runs through the town. It's a distinct grayish turquoise color, and it's one of the best places to get views of the Matterhorn. There's so much to do in Zermatt. One of my favorite things I did was take the Gornergrat Railway. It starts in Zermatt and takes you up to 3,100 meters to enjoy some of the best views of the Matterhorn. Now we got off at the Rothenburg station and I was just so freaking excited. I've been wanting to come here for years and it lived up to the hype. Not only are the views magical, but there are some of the cutest sheep I've ever seen. They have the curliest hair and twisted horns and look like an animal you would find in a fantasy novel. For our final destination, we're going to visit the Italian village of Positano. Now this may be the most beautiful village not just in Italy, but all of Europe. It's full of beautiful colored buildings, shops, and a scenic beach. Back in Roman times, several luxury villas were built on the Amalfi Coast. But in the early 20th century, Positano was a somewhat poor fishing village. But tourism began to gain traction in the 1950s. Today, it's one of Italy's most beautiful destinations. Since it is so popular, it can get crowded, overwhelming, and very expensive. So if you do go, maybe you want to avoid the summer months. Anyways, one of my favorite things to do in Positano is rent a boat. It can be a little expensive, but trust me, it's worth it. You'll be able to get some of the best views of Positano on the Amalfi Coast while enjoying it away from the crowds. And when you're out there, it's hard to believe what you'll be experiencing. It's one of the most incredible places in the world, in my opinion. Well, that is it for my European villages top 10. There's just something special and more intimate about villages that you can't experience in other places like cities. So let me know where your favorite village is in the comments below. I also started a relaxation channel where I post hour-long films with calming music to bring some peace and nature in your life. I'm planning to do a film on Europe's villages very soon. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram at shirley.films. It's Ryan, and we will see you later.